Civil War Digital Digest. I'm your host, Jeremy, and I'm here with Jackie Jacobs with Past Reflections. And once again, she's sharing some of her originals from her collection. And this time we're looking at men's vests. Jackie, let's start out with telling us a little bit about men's vests of the time period. We don't really wear them as much today. So how do they fit in with the wardrobe?
Well, a gentleman's vest would have been considered a piece of underclothing. In social mixed company, it would have been frowned upon for a gentleman to take his coat off and show his shirt sleeves. But in the smoking parlor, it was completely acceptable for a man to take his jacket off and show his vest to his male companions.
We have a lot of occupational photos as well. That
Occupational
show them
as
just in
well.
Vests and rolled up sleeves.
Yes, yes.
So Jackie, let's then move on to some common elements of men's vests during the Civil War period.
Well, generally a vest from that period would have at least two, more likely three pockets, one breast pocket and two at the waist. The other thing that is common with the vests from that time period is that they have a collar that goes completely around the neck. It does not stop at the shoulder seam.
And then we have some examples of single and double-breasted.
Yes, and that was also, something that was common at both the single and the double-breasted. The black vest over there, some people might think that it is an embroidered vest, but that was made by a tailor, and the fabric was ordered special for vests, just the same way as fabric would have been ordered by a couture for ladies' garments.
So this isn't embroidered, and this is a fabric that we believe
It is a silk brocade.
Okay, and it was made specifically for a men's vest.
Specifically for vests, yes.
So we got some other originals here. What's some interesting elements about each of these? And then I believe they have a common story as well.
They do have a common story. All three of the vests that are here, and then one extra one that we don't have to view today, all came from the same gentleman that lived in Wyandotte, Michigan, and they were all made by a tailor from Wyandotte, Michigan. This particular one is a single-breasted vest. It has very interesting buttons on it, and you'll notice that the buttonholes are placed close to the seam line or the edge of the fabric, and in order for the vest to fit the gentleman properly, they moved the buttons over to his right so that it would fit him more snugly.
So it's not falling right along the edge.
They're not falling right along the edge. So if a gentleman wasn't very muscular or very large in the shoulders, they could adjust the size of their vest that way.
Now what's the fabric that one's made out of?
This is actually a matelassé, cotton matelassé. It has woven design color in it, and it's all cotton, and it's lined completely, front and back.
So the term you just used, matelassé.
Matelassé is a way of weaving fabric to give it texture and raised design.
Now this one's made out of a different fabric.
Yes, this vest is made of a corded cotton, and it is woven, has the pattern woven right into the fabric as well. This one is a double-breasted vest, and it is a summer weight vest. I believe that it was probably the gentleman's favorite vest, and the wife said, "I'm going to make this fit," so she decided to cut the sides and add a gusset.
Several inches.
Several inches. He must have gotten quite heavy. But the interesting thing about this vest, because they are from the same gentleman, this vest has small eyelet holes in the front of the vest for the buttons and also over here. This vest also has the eyelet holes. It has very expensive ferro type buttons on them. The back of the button goes through an eyelet hole, and then there's a cotter pin that holds the button secure. And I do believe that the buttons that were on this vest were also used on the vest.
Well, I could see why they'd be special, given that they're small.
And they have a photograph inside of them.
So beyond the buttons on this one, Jackie, this also has a feature on the inside that is, you said, kind of common, but we don't really see it today. And it also helps give a that shape of the period. Tell us
Yes.
a little bit about that.
And I'll show you on the reproduction over here. This particular piece is a wadding that would have been inserted into the garment. There is a pocket or opening at the side seam, and then you run the wadding up inside, and it buttons at the shoulder. And what that would do is give you a nice pigeon front look. And that pigeon front look, if you look at fashion plates from that time period, the ones of the gentlemen are always with this large chest. Well, men wanted to have a large chest, and they would sometimes be corseted or bound at the waist to achieve this. And this wadding also could help them achieve that. It also helps when a gentleman wants to use it as a winter vest, it also helps keep them a little bit warmer.
And I can attest to that because I'm actually lucky enough that you made that reproduction for me, and that padding does add quite the extra warmth to it. Well, thank you again for sharing some originals with us and your knowledge, and thank you for watching another episode of the Civil War Digital Digest, and we always appreciate that share and that like to show your support.